Dear learners, in this session we are going to see how to automate your IoT modules using SVG Node through Node-RED, such as allocating the map, configuring the functionality, and how to integrate this in the Node-RED and how to produce the output both in the debug monitor as well as in the dashboard modes. So the objective of this session is we are going to create objects through SVG source, and we are going to configuring the events through the event tab. Then we are going to trigger the required functionality for our automation through inject and the function node, and through SVG node we are going to create a map and we are going to associate those map into the Node-RED, and we are going to identify the coordinates of the mouse. To begin with, just drag and place SVG Graphics node into the flow. So insert SVG Graphics node into the flow and double click it to edit the property. So now you will get a edit property window. So you just type this code. So I'm going to create a circle. So the tag for the circle is circle, and the ID name I'm going to give it a CAR, and this is your circle x-axis x coordinate value 50 and y coordinates value 50, and the radius is 40, and the stroke I'm going to give it as a black, and the stroke width is going to be 3, and the fill color is going to be red. So stroke signifies the outer line, and the width of the outer line is 3, and the fill color I'm going to keep it as a red. Then I'm going to bring some text into the UI panel, UI dashboard. So I'm going to bring a tag like text x location 0 and y location 15. Fill red, the color of my text should be in red. So I'm going to give power station and I'm going to end the tag. So this is a code. I'm going to write it in the SVG source. So once you've done it, you just deploy your flow, and then once you click your output in the UI dashboard, you could see the output is produced like this. So this is the stroke which was given as a black, and the width is 3, and the fill color is red, and power station is text, and it was again given in red color. So now we are going to see how to trigger events in the SVG node. So for this, I'm going to insert a text input node, that is a part of your dashboard node, and I'm going to insert a debug node, which is going to produce the output in the debug monitor. So now you just double click your SVG node. Now you just go to this event tab. Once you click event tag, you will get these properties. So now you have to click add, which will be at the bottom left corner. Just click add. Once you click add, you will get a panel of selector, action, message.payload and message.topic. So here we need to configure our required objects. So here in previous slide, I just created a object named CAR. So circle name is CAR. So I need to select it here. Once you type hash symbol, the object name whatever you designed for this flow will be listed out. So you can select it from that also. Else you can type, if you remember the name of your ID of the object, then we can type it here. So if you type hash, it will be listed out. The various objects associated with this flow will be listed out. So I'm going to select it as /CAR. This is an object name created by us now. Then the action, there are various options available. Click, double click, mouse over, mouse onto it. So whatever action you like to bring to your application, you can take it. So I'm going to click an action, click here. Then the payload. So the whatever content I need to be produced in the output in the debug monitor, I'm just going to configure here. So now I'm just going to say that if I click that object, I have to produce the output as power on. Then message of topic. Topic is optional for this flow. So if you want, you can configure that message of topic. Same thing, you can bring the object name as well. Once you have done it, you can click done. Then as usual, you just debug your flow. Sorry, deploy your flow. Deploy your flow and then see the output in both your UI window and the debug monitor. So now once you deploy it, you could see, the output will be displayed in the UI monitor as well as in the your debug monitor. So once you go and keep your cursor here in the UI monitor, your UI dashboard, once you keep your mouse in the UI dashboard, you will get a hand symbol. If you click that hand symbol, then the event power on will be displayed in the debug monitor. So this is the beauty of event tab associated with the SVG node. So now let us see how to configure its functionality through the function node. So you can bring n number of functionality and automation through this function node. So let us explore in two ways. So to start with the first functionality, insert an inject node, insert a function node, insert an SVG node, and then a debug node. So just insert it and then you just wire it appropriately. Now double click your function node. So in this function node, I'm going to configure the icon which was set it as a previously was set it in a pink or a red color. That now once you click this inject node, now the color is going to be changed to green color. So this is the objective of this flow now. So message.icon underscore fill is equal to green. So this is a function which is going to be triggered using inject node. So now my icon fill color, which was whatever was the earlier setup, now once you click this inject node, it will be changing its color to green color. So then usual just write return MSG message object. Then you just click done. So I'll just repeat. Here I'm going to write a function. I'm just going to change the color, field color alone here. So previously the red or the pink color, whatever color was designed by us, now if we click this inject node, now the color will be going to change it in the dashboard. So after configuring with the required function code, you just click done. So whichever part of the object that needs to be automated or which has to be animated, we need to configure in the SVG source tab as well. So in the previous slide, we have written a function code for message msg.icon hyphen fill is equal to green. So the fill component of the circle, now it has to change its property. So from the existing color, it has to change to green color. So the same thing has to be configured in the source SVG source node as well, source tab as well. So now I'm just modifying the style. Stroke is none, so I'm not going to have any outer line here. So I'm going to make my stroke is equal to none, and fill colon is equal to the message dot icon underscore fill. So either you can use icon underscore fill or you can use icon and dot fill. So whatever name you are using it in the function node has to be configured here, or whatever name you are using here, that has to be configured in the function node as well. So this is a very important point. I'll just recollect after configuring the function node with our requirement. So now here the objective of this flow is so when the inject node is triggered, from the existing color, now my circle has to be changed to the green color. So the attribute that has to be changed here is fill. So we have to configure this as well in the SVG source tab as well. So you just change this stove none, and then this is very important, fill double curly bracket message dot icon underscore fill. So this will enable us to change the color during deploying the code flow. So now deploy the code, inject your inject node now. So once you click this inject node, you could see the changes of color happens. So now my output will be produced in the green color. So this could happen through this function node. So here the function node is used to automate our requirement. So in our next flow, we are going to write much more things into the function node. So here I am going to create an icon. I am going to create a variable called icon, which is going to hold. I am going to change the color. I am going to change the height, and I am going to change the width also. So I am going to change the color of the fill color of the circle. I am going to change the height of the circle and width of the circle. So I'm going to pass the same thing in the message.icon. So message.icon is equal to this variable icon. Then I'm going to return this message. So this is a sample function code. So in the previous flow, we have just changed the color alone. In this flow, we are going to change both height and width along with the color change. So once we return it, then just click done. So this will be a code which looks in the flow. So we have seen three properties has to be changed here. So the corresponding value has to be configured here in the source SVG source tab as well. So we have to change the height parameter attribute as message icon dot height, which has been configured as a function in the earlier slide. Then width has been changed icon dot width, and fill is changed at message icon dot fill. I'll just recollect. We have taken three attributes here. So fill, height and width. So from the existing size, from the existing height and from the existing width and the existing color, after the triggering of the inject node, the height and the width values is going to be changed as per the requirement specified in the function node. Now you can configure your event tab. So you just double click your SVG editor, then you just click your event tab. Now you just select your the ID name which you created for your object. So based on the object, you just set your action, your payload, whatever data you need to produce it, and just click done. So after deploying it, you just inject it. So once you inject it, you could see the size got changed from a bigger module to a smaller module. So now size and width has been reduced as well. So this is the way how we can configure our requirement through this function node. So all our functionality can be brought into our flow based on the requirement, and we need to write the appropriate function onto it. So next, let us create a flow where this SVG node help us to locate the map, and we automate the map as well. So let us insert a SVG node. Then to visualize the outcome in the dashboard, UI dashboard, I'm going to insert a text input. It's a dashboard node, and I'm going to insert a debug node to display the output in the debug monitor. Then you just double click your SVG node. Once we double click our SVG node, we'll get a SVG edit property like this. So here you just configure the group and tab. So I'm going to keep GPS tracking. and the tab name as GPS. Then you just click the editor, then you just double click your open SVG editor. So once you double click this open SVG editor, automatically your SVG editor will be populated here. So here you in last session we have seen a list of options available in this draw SVG editor. So here you just now select your element, you just click it. In this element you could see a list of options like text, images, lines, pictures, polyline, etc. So here you have an option like in the image. In the image you have an option. In the image you have an option. The second option, it is your locate the map. So you just drag it and then just place it in the editor window. So once you leave it, you just resize it, you could see a where locate a map available along with the satellite data. So now it's a Google map. You can trace your location. So I have traced like Tamil Nadu, India. Then I just click research. So the corresponding map will be produced here. If I want to refine it, I just refine my searches as Chennai, Tamil Nadu, India. Then the Chennai map, Google map will be produced here. Now you can freeze it. Then you can click OK. At the bottom down, there is a OK symbol, OK button. You just click that OK button. So now your map is ready for configuration. Now you can edit the properties because element ID is much required. If you like to automate or if you trigger something, element ID is essential. To set up your element ID, you just click your object and then you can go to the property. So the three dotted line will help us to create the property window. So this property window will be populated here. So here you just name the ID. You can name your ID or by default ID name for the map will be created. You can take that as well. So now I just renamed that as a map. So I kept that element ID for this map as map. Then my required component is ready now. So you can click save changes and then you can save changes will be available in the right corner. A small floppy disk save option will be available. You just click it. Then you can give OK. So like this you can bring any images into the system as well. Now click OK. Then close it. So your Google Map is ready now for our automation. Now you want to trigger some events. So go to the event tab. In this event tab, you just see I have selected the selector name as a map, hash map. Once I type map, once I type hash, all the relevant details, element ID associated with the hash will be displayed. All the object name will be displayed here. So here you can pick up your map. Then I want to keep my action as a click and I want to display the data as Chennai airport and then I'm going to keep my message topic as hash map itself. Then you click done. If you want to configure, if you want to know the mouse coordinates, then you can click this tab, settings tab. In the setting tab, you just activate this mouse show mouse coordinates. So this show mouse coordinates will help us to know the coordinates, and then automation with respect to coordinates will be easier for us to figure it out in which place what automation has to bring it. So to make this happen into the flow, you just click show mouse coordinates as a tooltip. So both the events and settings are over. Then you can click done. So just deploy it. Now once you bring your cursor near to the channel location, in this place you will get a hyperlink hand symbol. You just click this. Once you click it, you could see the output in the text box as well and in the debug monitor as well. So once you click it, I'll get a Chennai output as output. Then you can see the mouse coordinates 15, 32. Like that, if you cross over your mouse, the coordinates will be displayed. This will help you to configure your required locations in this GPS tracking. So your output will be produced here as a Chennai airport. So summary, we just created objects through SVG source, that is we created a circle and we brought text through SVG source code. Then we configured event, what has to happen if I click the mouse, if I move mouse over it. So those things could be happened with the help of the event tab. Then any number of functionality you can bring to the node RED through this inject node and the function node. So function node plays a vital role in bringing the automations through functionality. You can write a code onto it and you have to return that object. Then we created a map using this SVG editor, and then we just located this map, and then the corresponding element ID we have configured it, then we saved it, and then we just came out of it, and then we have triggered that event through the event tab, and then retrieving mouse through coordinates is done through this setting tab. So that's the end of the session. So the task is, you're just using your SVG map, you automate any GPS tracking system for the school bus. So using MQTT node, function node, switch node, and whatever relevant node you wanted, you just use all the appropriate nodes, whatever we learned so far. Then you just send the status of their boarding and the departure to their parents. So use your dashboard nodes to display the output, and display the output in the debug monitor and the Hive MQ website as well using this MQTT node. Thank you. So let us see a small demo of SVG Graphics node. So we just filter it using SVG. You just drag it and then you just place it here. Then you just double click it. So here you can configure the group, whatever names you wanted. So I have given it as a GPS electricity board, or you can use EB tab name. You can edit it as EB electricity board. So now my tab name is EB and the group name is electricity board. I have done it. Now go to SVG source. So there is an option after editor, there is an option called SVG source. You just double click it. By default you might be having this SVG x is equal to 0 till the end you have it. So let me show you. I just brought it here, double click it. So I'm going to take EB electricity board, then source, you just see. So by default till this it will be available. You just go to the end of the code and give a enter. So inside your SVG tag we are going to write our object here. So you just create a space between your SVG and a closing SVG tag. So now you can write a code. So I am going to write a code called circle CX with this and Y this values. So I can keep the ID as ID equal to CIR circle, then give space. So style So this is the value I'm going to give it, and the text value x10 15 fill red color. Even you can change your color if you want. Then power station is the text value. I'm going to display it. Then you can click done. Once you have done it, you can deploy it. Then just refresh it. So you could get a electricity board, this icon. So now I just created it. I have not associated any automation to it. So you just write, if you want to write a function here, you can write a function here. So where is equal to msg dot icon underscore fill is equal to green. So if you click it, my color will get changed here, and return message. So you can specify all your functionality here, then give done. Then graphics, so I'm going to have it as a light here, so give done. And events, you can add your event here. So I gave my ID name as switch, so it switches automatically coming here. You just click here, so I can use click or double click. Then you can give the name for it, then give done. So now deploy it, deploy. So now just check here. So now the color is changed to green. Okay. So now I will deactivate this one. Then I'll go to the flow graphics. So again, drag and place SVG Graphics. Double click it. So just open SVG editor. The SVG editor, you just select the elements. In the elements, we have an image. So even you can bring any image to your flow. So now I want to bring a map. So you just drag it, and then I'm just deleting it. So I'm deleting it. So just drag it. So now you could locate it. The command here to just give a search. So Tamil Nadu will come. So if I want very specific with my location, I'm giving Chennai, Tamil Nadu, India. So Chennai will come. So this is my target now. I'm just going to give OK. So you can change the size appropriately as per your requirement. Now you just need to set the properties. So double click your three dotted property option. Now you can change your ID. I'm going to keep it as a map. So if anything else, if you want to configure as we did in a earlier session, you can change it. Then give done. Even you can bring images as well. So you can click image. then you can keep it here. Else if you want to load your image, you can click and you can browse your image and you can apply for it. So now I does not require the image, so I am deleting the image now. Just save it. So gives yes, okay to this, and then you just close it. It will ask you save changes, give S. So now you go to events. In the events we have done, so map, click, you can change it as a double click. So if it clicks over there, I will be producing Chennai airport here, and the topic I am going to keep is a map. So now if I want to make my coordinates available as a tooltip, you just click this show mouse coordinate as tooltip, then you just give done. So now you just deploy it. So you could see a map available here. So this is the coordinates available. So once I click it, I'll get the output as Chennai airport. So double click, I just kept it for double click, so I'll get a Chennai airport here. So even I will get the output as Chennai airport in the debug monitor as well. Thank you.